The nation's capital oozing anxiety today. For the first time, it's win or go home for Canada as they take on an emerging rival, Czechia, in the quarterfinal of the World Juniors. There's the captain, Braden Yager, one of the players who felt the pain of losing in the quarters last year. Gentlemen, thank you. Remarkably, this is the 9th straight World Juniors where Canada has faced Czechia. The last 4 meetings split evenly. The last 2, pure drama. OT for gold in Halifax. Dylan Gunther, the hero. That devastating 3-2 loss for Canada last year in the quarterfinals.
Imagine a second consecutive 5th place finish. That's never happened to Canada in the World Junior Championships. That's what's on the line tonight.
The last of 4 quarterfinals features the host team Canada against the team that knocked it out last year in the quarters in Sweden. It is Czechia. Sweden, the United States, and Finland are all on to the quarters. And the final ticket yet to be punched. The officials are Riku Brander of Finland, Sean McFarland of the United States, the linesman Jake Davis of the U.S., and Tommy Niitala of Finland. Starting a goal for Canada, 18-year-old Carter George allowed 3 goals on 27 shots against the United States, all in the power play. He leads the tournament in save percentage. And 6'6" Michael Rabel's the man who beat Canada in goal last year, allowing 2 goals on 30 shots in his second year at UMass. Head coach Dave Cameron and his staff believe that if Canada is shorthanded 4 or fewer times in this game, they have an excellent chance to win. They were down 7 times against the U.S. That was the same story for Patrick Augusta and the Czechs, who won a bronze medal last year. They've won medals in back-to-back years for the first time since they won gold in 2000 and 2001. Excitement, nerves, all of it bundled up here, but it's a new round now. Single elimination from here on for the semifinal spot. That's it.
Yep, I'll back out. Camera guy wanted me here close to you. I can't tell what the time is. What's the time?
It's time to go.
Boys, best tournament sports, have fun, let's go! Down!
Sean McFarland gets it underway, and that long shot taken by Czechia's Miroslav Holinka is stopped by Carter George, and already there's pushing and shoving behind the Canadian bench. And these teams know each other from the Holinka Gretzky tournament, from the under-18s, the World Junior, you name it. Here's their record at the World Junior Championship. Czechs won in the quarterfinal 3-2 last year. Czechs have won 2 of the last 3. Canada's win came in overtime in the gold medal game in Halifax. The golden goal by Dylan Gunther. The Czechs had beaten Canada earlier in that tournament on Boxing Day. Pick free now by Tanner Molendyk. And Molendyk looks ahead for Nadeau. That's knocked down in center ice and brought back in by Sikora. Sikora moves in on the backdoor pass. They score! Tipped home by Peter Sikora. And the Czechs have grabbed the lead 43 seconds in. Czechs got off to a 2-0 lead in last year's quarterfinal, and off to a quick start here.
A nightmare start here. Nadeau lures the battle. Molendyk's been activated, and then you see Gibson and Nadeau go to the shooter, and Raditz does a nice pass in front to Sikora, a little change up through the legs. That's the first 5-on-5 goal against in the tournament for Canada, and a blown assignment after a turnover in the neutral zone, and exactly what Czechia wanted.
Pinches up, finds Tanner Howe, drops it off to Yager. A centering pass knocked by Štancl. Long shot by Dickinson, tipped just wide by Howe. He's playing against a CHL teammate. Pinelli up ahead for Catton, looking for Gavin McKenna, who scored twice in the pre-tournament game for Canada against the Czechs. They won that 3-2 as McKenna winds it and shoots. That goes just wide. Now Sawyer Minio, a long shot, and Rabel makes the glove save and hangs on. It's for Edmonton in the Western League. He's a Toronto 5th-round pick. Holinka winds it and shoots. George the save. Rebound cleaned up by Molendyk, and a slid back through the crease by Šalé. There's Fibiger with a long shot, and George makes the save as Molendyk for the face-off. Wins another draw for the Canadians. Over 70% in the tournament. That lead pass knocked out at center ice by Wojciech Kuzanecki. And across the line for Raditz. Shoots. That's blocked and picked up by Yager. Being harassed by Sikora. Yager chips out ahead. Plays onside. No, it's not. A late whistle. Martone takes a whack there from Thomas Galvis.
And that's what Martone didn't budge. and he draws a penalty. That is good discipline from Martone and bad discipline from Sikora. It's exactly what Canada has to do. Turn the other cheek, take the punch in the face. First off, is this offside? He drag it long enough? Not quite. Good call by the linesman.
They allowed 2 goals on 7 tries against the Swedes on New Year's Eve. And now Ritchie's going to get one, so that power play's over. They're going to call a trip on Cal Ritchie.
Right off the face-off.
Number 21, minor penalty, tripping.
Sean McFarland makes the call.
Just desperate to get some positive momentum. Lost draw by Catton. And it's the softest of touch just onto the foot of Port. I guess it doesn't take much to knock someone over, but not much there.
So now 4-on-4 here. Jiricek shoots. Glove saved by George. He drops it down for Cowan. 4-on-4 is rare. Under IHF rules, they don't do 4-on-4 for coincidental minors, but of course these were staggered by a couple of seconds. And now Cowan winds out along with Catton. Berkeley Catton swings that rink wide for Bonk, who kicks it back. Now breaking away was Šalé. They find it with a pass. Šalé in alone. Back out of that wide. Early breakaway for the Czechs' most experienced player. First round pick by Seattle in 2023. Now Catton lines in, drops it back to Dickinson, feeds it back in front, Cowan with a chance, and Rubble with a save. And again, they're looking ahead. They've got a player busting out. Raditz moves in and shoots. That's knocked wide. So the Czechs are flying the zone on turnovers.
They're going to 4-on-4 active both defense, but for a 4-on-3. Sam Dickinson jumps down. Bonk's already in deep, and Šalé, the last guy you want, in alone. And George gets a cuff on this. Yes, he does just enough to get over the bar. Huge save. Now, nice little play on the rush. Easton Cowan's trying to score, looking for a goal. Look at Oliver Bonk. He is so wide open.
And he knows it.
He's so wide open for a backdoor touch. If you just slip it across, he could not miss.
Back to Molendyk. Tanner Molendyk shoots. That goes just wide. Cowan steps up. Molendyk on it. Feeds that back around to Ritchie. For Cowan. And now Cowan skates away from Petter. Up ahead to Ritchie. In comes Cal Ritchie busting in. Ritchie going to throw it back in front. Rubble knocked that away. Bonk. Getting past to McKenna. He's tied up. And a move across for Šalé. Moves it and shoots, and George makes the stop on that. Really just missed. Trying to find Jagger. Mastolersky drops it up for Šalé with a shot. That's knocked away by George. That backhanded back around by Wojciech Port. Gibson steps up. And the Czech got a big hit there. And Baudouin's going to get a penalty. And Sikora is down. And Cole Baudouin is going to be penalized here after that collision with Czechia's Peter Sikora.
The referees are reviewing it to see if it's a 2 or a 5. Now, he goes straight through. His elbow contacts first. He does get his knee into the sort of center part of the thigh. And it's Sikora that's going laterally that makes it less of a head-on-head hit. Now, that collision will always be called. I don't think there's any way that's not a penalty. Sikora checking. Is it a penalty? It's a penalty. Penalty. And then he grabs at the leg. Sikora checking. Is it a penalty? It's a penalty. Penalty. And then he grabs at the leg.
Canada number 26, 5 minutes game misconduct for me.
They call it a major and a game misconduct, so Baudouin's night is done. And Canada will be shorthanded for 5 minutes.
We've only played 9 minutes. They came into the game most times short in the tournament. They're going to remain there.
Bouncing puck, Jagger reaching for it. And Bonk to the line, but not out. Jiricek feeds it back down. Here's Howe, and he's got Jagger streaking ahead. In comes Jagger. Short-handed breakaway. Jagger in, stopped. Rubble made the save there. Back in front, they score! Tanner Howe, short-handed goal, and the game is tied.
Lutsenko, nice, good save by Ravel, but Lutsenko doesn't lose his composure. He stays with the play, actually picks up the rebound, and watch Lutsenko's head. As soon as he gets it, where is he? Spots Howe, and Howe doesn't sit on the play either. And Jager puts it right on a tee, rolling to get underneath it, up and over. What a huge goal for Canada. Shorthanded.
The 11th goal of the tournament for Canada by the 11th different player. Tanner Howe, native of Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, plays for Calgary in the Western League. There's a big short-handed goal to tie it up. Still 3.5 minutes to go in this Czech 5-minute power play. And that batted down. Right back to Sikora. The crowd roasting him. Jiricek feeds it back across, and the hard shot bounces back in front. That shot by Jecho was blocked. Here's Sikora back with it. Sikora feeds that down to Feltzman. Back at the point is Jiricek. Pass in behind Sikora. Picked up by Bach and sent back down the ice. Slides it across to Adam Jecho. Also plays in Edmonton in the Western League. Sikora chips that in. Štancl with a big hit. Jiricek plays it across. Jecho centers it. That's hammered wide by Štancl. Rebound on the side of the goal. They score! And it's batted in. Looked like Štancl might have got the last touch. And the Czechs have regained the lead. So Štancl scored twice against Canada last year. Gets credit for this one.
Flies it over the net. Oh, Sam Dickinson trying to play it with his hand. Puts it in his own net. That is tough. He's trying to go down with his glove to be sure of it. And it just bounces caroms off the inside of the glove and tucks in the short side. That is a tough break for Canada's penalty kick. They've done a really good job to that point. And Štancl regains the lead for Czechia. Still 1:18 left on the penalty kill.
Canada will get a power play for 1:10 in a few moments. Jager works in, rolled off his stick, and got down to Ravel. That's kicked away, held the line by Martone. In for Jager. Sends it back. Torna was kicked away by Fibiger. Štancl gets credit for the second Czech goal, and now Canada on the power play for a minute. Then change. Cal Ritchie pivots back. Away comes Ritchie. In across the line, Cal Ritchie. For Bob with a shot. Ravel was saved, and the puck goes back to the point to Cowan. Now Cowan crisscrossing with Cat. Berkeley Cat. Back across. A hard shot by Dickinson deflected wide. That rink wide pass almost broken up, and brought back by Jager. Aidan Jager, the captain, one of 4 returnees down to McKenna. And Gavin McKenna works that free, pivots back in the corner, and again, McKenna slides that back. Gibson found the one-timer. Gibson feeds that towards the goal to Pinelli. And Luca Pinelli chips that back to Gibson, a long shot. Rebel save, rebound, losing the side of the goal. That's knocked away by a diving Adam Jiricek. Jager for Pinelli. Back to Molendijk. Molendijk, a long shot. Rebel, the glove save. And he'll hang on to that. Plays that to Cataford. Matthew Cataford. Banks that back. And played back around to Bonk. He pivots back. Dickinson fans on that pass. He's tied up there by Masterowski. Chance back in front. Shelley shoots. Oh, what a stop by George. Sticks the right pad back after the turnover. And freezes the puck.
Turnover in their own end. Sam Dickinson's had a tough first period. Overskates this puck. It's bumped off it by Masterowski, and then backdoor. Oh, what a reach. So important for George to get that post covered and stay with it. It wasn't even a one-timer. Had to keep it skate up against the post, extend and not tip over. Just gets a piece of it. Huge save.
Jager for the defensive zone face-off against Yuri Feltzman. One back to Jecho. Slides it back across to Jiricek, a shot. George a save. Loose puck in front. That's chopped down the ice by Gibson. Molendijk reverses for Gibson. Being harassed there by Koss, and Gibson now skates it out. For Nadeau. That pass almost broken up at center ice. Now chipped in by Molendyk. Clipping the high stick there. Molendyk fans on that centering pass. Now Nadeau with it. Down to Price. Price long shot tipped wide by Ritchie. Cal Ritchie back with it. Canada changing D as Ritchie feeds it across the Molendyk. A shot that's high and wide. Jumping up is Price. Price feeds that back to Molendyk. For Nadeau. Lots of traffic in front. Nadeau with a shot. And that hit Ritchie in front. That staggered him. And Sippiger brings the puck back out as Ritchie goes back to the Canadian bench, laboring. Icing waved off. Jagger for the face-off against Holinka. And the face-off controlled by Jagger. That shot is blocked. And Holinka trying to bust in as Dickinson races back. Dickinson for Bonk. Two London Knight defensemen together is knocked down by Howe. Rink wide pass for Dickinson moving in. Trying to drop that back. It's picked off. That pass was broken up by Jagger. Back come the Czechs. Mashtalerski feeds it back in front. They score. It's Šalé. And it's 3-1 Czechia. 2.1 seconds left in the first period.
You can't give Šalé these kind of looks. Dickinson activates, get caught in deep. McKenna doesn't recognize, and that's a nice pass and better finish. It's a 3-on-2 with McKenna skating back forwards. That's a tough one-timer to get up into the top half of the net. No chance at all for Carter George. But poor execution, decision-making late in the period for Canada gives the best shooter for Czechia a backdoor empty netter.
Šalé plays for Coachella Valley in the American Hockey League. He's a Seattle first-round pick. He's the only first-round pick on the Czech roster. And so the Czechs try to knock Canada out in the quarterfinals for the second straight year. Take a 3-1 lead in the first period. They led Canada 2-0 last year in Sweden. Our first intermission is coming up.
So much went wrong in the first.
Canadian players standing at the bench. The teams begin this second period 5-on-5. Long shooting by Holinka goes wide. Šalé off the side of the goal, stopped by George. And away comes Cowan along with Nadeau. Easton Cowan winds in. Cowan drops that back for Gibson with a shot. Save made by Rebel. Rebound. Molendyk rolled that wide. Now Cowan back with it. It's McKenna as well. Czechia. That'll be Wojtek Čihas who goes off, and Canada goes to the power play. 2 minutes and 17 seconds into the period.
I think he's getting a dive as well. I cannot believe they're going to.
Wow, they're going to
call an embellishment. Oh my word!
15 minor penalty cross-checking. Canada, number 14, minor penalty embellishment. 5-on-5.
I mean.
Wow.
So we'll be staying at 5-on-5 as little nudge, little shove. He might go down a little easy. See Howard staring at him there. All I'm saying is you're going to call that. You better be consistent in your embellishment calls the rest of the night.
Right.
Because if that's the standard, there are several instances you could show.
Only back to Goche. In comes Iggy with a shot. Side of the goal, chopped at by Luchenko. Picked up by Koss. It's picked up at center ice by Iggy. He's flattened. Now it's brought in. Walking right in is Penner with a backhand. Rolls wide of the goal. Penner back at the point. And Jiricek with a shot that goes wide. And Jiricek, the crunch there by Goche. Back the other way comes Zidlički. Zidlički tied up by Ritchie.
Holding Ritchie's stick in his hand. Side of that big hit. Now, you don't want to complain too often, but that feels like he's holding his stick.
Back up Fibiger, Seattle 7th-round pick. Up to center ice for Šalé. Rink wide pass. Holinka moves in and shoots. That was blocked by Gibson. Jagger, lead pass to Cowan. Cowan, back pass for McKenna. In comes Gavin McKenna. Throws it back in front. Just missed. As he was trying to find Molendyk, who had jumped out. Jecho feeds it back. Oh, the shot on the feed from Martone. It's picked up by Dvorak. Russing in is Koss. Shoots. George the save. Rebound cleaned up by Minio. Just missed there by Minio. That goes Price for it. Now Ritchie lost the puck on the side of the goal. Šalé had Price in a headlock there. And Raditz works in. Jagger. Up ahead to Howe. Busting out with Martone. And the defenseman Molendyk moving in. In comes Tanner Molendyk. Pivots back across. Martone with a shot that goes off the foot of Huzanetsky and wide. In comes Sam Dickinson. Winds in. Present for Jagger. A shot. And Jagger turned away. Back down to the Czech zone. Ravel off the plant. Off the end boards. McKenna pokes it free. In comes Ritchie after it. McKenna as well, but it's flipped ahead to Sikora. Into Sikora. Throws it ahead for Ritchie. Flips up to Cowan. That's knocked down. And brought back in by Štancl. A quick shot there for Raditz. And the save made by George. 4:47 to go here in the second period. And the Czechs up by 2 in the quarterfinals. Cat. Pinelli plays it down to Molendyk. In the corners, Cat slides that back to Molendyk. Across he goes to Gibson with a shot. He rattled that wide. Cat throws it back in the corner. Gibson steps up. And now Gibson banks it back down to Pinelli. Loose behind the goal. Pinelli walks out, shoots off the outside of the post. Here's Pinelli back with it. Banks it back to Gibson. Leaves it there. Catton on the line. Keeps it alive. And Catton taking that is going to be a penalty to the Czechs. 3:04 to go.
You know, Canada started asking for a 5.
And that's Šalé with the penalty.
So Catton, who has been one of the most dominant puck-carrying forward in this tournament, draws another one, attacking Šalé. And it's a lot like the Baudouin hit. Catton moving out of the way. And
that's what the crowd thinks. They've just seen it on the scoreboard.
Previous one, of course, Catton did stay on the ground.
To Molendyk. Cross to Jagger. Jagger in for McKenna. Shoots. And that's knocked away by Ravel. Nadeau back with it. To the point he goes to Molendyk. Feeds it across to Jagger. Backdoor pass. Nadeau shoots. And Ravel makes the stop. And there's no rebound with Martone standing right there.
It's a good seam pass from Jagger over to Nadeau after McKenna had tried him as well. A little bit better. Moving around. McKenna wrists one in quickly. And Nadeau, the next one. He can release this right away. Might have a chance to beat the...
Back to Molendyk. Tanner Molendyk. Feeds it across to Jagger. Now Jagger in, shoots, hit a leg in front, picked up by Nadeau. In comes Jagger. Drops it back. Molendyk, a hard shot, score! Tipped by Martone, a power play goal, and Canada's back within 1. Porter Martone back in the lineup. Gets a huge goal for Canada.
This is why he's back in the lineup. From a tremendous goal-scoring season. And puck retrievals, attacking the net. They get to the top of the circle, and Martone sliding with Molendyk. Jumps in the air. That's a nice tip. Skates off the ice, but stick on it to get it up and over Ravel. Look at this. Oh, that is well done. Right under the bar. No chance for the goaltender. And when they had to have one, they've got themselves back within 1. And what was the objective of this period? Get 1. They needed to get 1, and they've have.
Knocked the stick out of Jecho's hand, or Chias's hand. Now another long shot by Bonko, just wide. Throws it back in the corner. Jagger picks it up. Jagger drops it back to Dickinson. Walks with it and shoots, and a save by Ravel. Back across to Gibson. Gibson, lead pass to McKenna. In comes Gavin McKenna. Throws it back in front. Chance for Cowan. Rebound put wide by Ritchie. What a chance there. Seconds remaining. Gibson walks in and shoots. It's blocked in front. Furious pressure by the Canadians. Ravel's goal stick was in the corner. but Canada gets one late and almost tied it up here.
Even later, right on the wheel. I think Easton Cowan didn't think the puck would get to him.
High off the glass. Cowan looks down for McKenna, trying to pick that free. And Jiricek from Martone gets picked off by Cowan. Cowan with a puck at his feet. Feeds it back across to Ritchie. McKenna walks in, holds and shoots. That rolls wide. Martone back with it. Pivots back in the corner, turns it over again. McKenna feeds it back to Gibson. Walks it in, shoots. Double save, rebound. And Ritchie just missed at the side of the goal. Cowan comes in. Plows through Martone. Now loose along the boards. Ritchie trying to work it free. It's back at center ice for Molendyk. In the first minute seems Canada. Pass picked up at center ice by Bond. Up ahead for Catton. In comes Berkeley. Catton throws it back in front. That pass was broken up by Jecho. And now Bond moves up. Keeps it alive for Pinelli. Banks in the corner for Catton. He's got some room. Shoots. Rebel makes the save. Pinelli looking for a rebound. But the Czech netminder has it. Ritchie has a look. Slides it down to McKenna. And McKenna. His man fell. Feeds it back. Ritchie a shot. Pad save. Rebound. And McKenna turned away by the Czech netminder. Rink wide pass for Nadeau. Kicking that ahead. In comes Nadeau with it. Bradley Nadeau trying to get a stick on it. And Beltzman knocked that away. Pinelli to Nadeau. In comes Pinelli with it. Pinelli centers it. Bounces back to Bonk. Feeds that back to Dickinson. A shot. It got through. And Rebel made the save. Beltzman back with it. Along with Chihas. And Chihas busts in. That pass broken up by Bonk. He finds McKenna. He's got Ritchie with him. In comes Gavin McKenna. Winds back. Drops it back for Pinelli with a shot. Rebel makes the stop and is able to hang on. Cal Ritchie. Drops it off to McKenna. McKenna feeds that back to Minio. To Akey. Akey looks to feed that back. It's shipped ahead by Fibiger. And a race for it now. George comes way out the point. Very high off the glass. Batted ahead by Ritchie. He finds Cowan. Drops it back to McKenna. He can't get a shot away. Chips at that. And move back down the game zone. Mashtalerski gets there first. Mashtalerski has a look back. Centers it. And George knocked that away. The puck skipped for a moment. Howe's got it back. Canada breaks out 4 wide. Away comes Jagger. Gibson jumping in. Jagger back in front of Howe the slot. Trying to feed that back. And it's blocked by Gallus. Now a lead pass for Šalé. Šalé on a partial break. Molendyk ranges back. Šalé off the puck. Howe trying to work that free. And comes back to Jagger. For Howe to Bond. In comes Bond with a shot. And Rebel makes the save. As Canada's changing by some time. Pinelli feeds it back across for Price. Price sends it back in front. And Catton just missed it today. Up the center ice. It's gloved down by Gibson. Pokes it ahead for Gauthier. Just out of his reach. Now Gauthier pokes it in. He's got Cataford with him. Gauthier works it back and forth for Cataford. They score. But the referee waves it off. The puck is in the net. But the referee right away waved it off. Sean McFarland, the referee, right away said no goal. Rebel is down. And a close call for Canada as Cataford came that close. McFarland's trying to talk here, but
Wild scene in the net. Cataford goes into Rebel hard. Now,
Call on the ice is no goal for goaltender interference.
in comes McKenna. Slides that down. He centers it. Now Cowan after it. Poked at by Gibson. Dvorak has a quick look as Catton tries to work that free. Cowan comes in to help out as well. And Jiricek moves it ahead. Finds Sikora busting in. Sikora trying to split the D. And they're going to call it a penalty.
Dive. He's getting a dive.
They're both going to get it. Sikora for the dive. .7:23 to go. They're calling him against both.
Sikora slashing. Sikora breaking. And Gibson on the right side. A little tap into the thighs. Sikora goes down. Now you're allowed to call embellishment without a penalty.
Right. Plays it across to Andre Koss. And Koss fans on that pass. Here's a chance for McKenna. Sends it ahead. Easton Cowan bust again. Cowan shoots. And Fidricker going to stick on him. It's knocked wide. And McKenna swings back to pick it up. And changing is McKenna. Moves it across the Czech line. Here comes McKenna after it. Gavin McKenna takes a big hit in the corner. And McKenna's down. Brought out by Howe. Gavin McKenna's injured. Break wide pass. That long shot. It's offside. Kuznetsky, and McKenna is slow to get to his feet as he goes back to the Canadian bench. Infuriated Canadian fans here.
Blows his own. Fidricker does a tremendous job bothering enough, but not taking a penalty. And then here's the McKenna. He sort of loses his balance, but this forearm goes right in the back of his head.
Sikora slings it back down the Canadian zone as Galvez plays it back in. Molendijk. Tied up by Štancl. Now scooped up by Nadeau. Nadeau lifts out ahead. Finds Cat. Berkeley Cat. Back across for Nadeau, winding in. Pinelli centers it. Goes back to the point. Dickinson in. Shoots. That was blocked by Štancl. Now Pinelli a chance. Rebound. Look at they score! Look at Pinelli. Tying goal. The Ottawa 67. Serra had the last touch. It might have been Nadeau. Regardless, it's a 3-3 tie.
Sequence, Nadeau starts dragging it through. Eventually it gets back to the point, and first shot blocked. Dickinson gets it to Pinelli, wires it in. There are two Canadian forwards inside position, both Nadeau and Catton. Anyone want to get a piece, and as Ravel's trying to get it with his stick, Nadeau pokes it 5-hole and pressing. Canada finally gets a break, grabs a rebound, and is finally able to tie the game. Bench going crazy. Still 4:18 on the clock with Canada pushing tie game.
There's Howe with it. Looks ahead for Jagger. Jagger winds it with Martone. Jagger spins it back. Dickinson a hard shot. Pat saved by Ravel. Ball for the shot. That goes just wide. Held by Jagger. Jagger. Long shot trying to find the stick of Howe. Now that shot by Bonk broke his stick. Martone back with it. Chance for Jagger. Back in. Shot got stopped. Now picked up by Jagger. Feeds that back to Martone. Gibson kicks it ahead. Walking his Molendijk's shot. Rebound loose in front. It's under the Czech defender Port and picked out. Gibson back for Molendijk's shot. That was blocked. Molendijk back with it. And across to Jagger. He walks in, shoots. Save made by a Rebel. And finally cleared out as Holinka had no stick. And now McKenna. That's knocked away and fed up to Klaus. Hammered down there by Gibson. And a penalty coming to Canada with 2:27 to go in the third period.
It's going to be Gibson. And the ref's going to get together, and there's so much noise. Gibson trying to make a good hit. It's a tough hit to make in that moment. Cross head up, he's going to go around you. It's more of a trip than a knee, but
potentially. Here's the call.
Team Canada, number 2, 2 minutes kneeing.
So it's 2, not 5. But the Czechs will go to the power play for the 5th time. 1 for 4. They scored late in the quarters last year. 11 seconds to go to knock Canada out. Pivots back. Finds it across to Shelley with a shot. Pad saved by George. The rebound almost squirted in. And Bonk sends it down the ice. And now Molendijk trying to work it free. Luchenko in there as well. 30 seconds to go on the power play. Inside a minute to go in the third period. Molendijk bats at it. Now Sikora feeds it back. A long shot by Juracek is kicked out by George. Sikora back in the corner. Sikora back to Juracek. A shot that was blocked. Juracek feeds it back across. Jecho scores! Jecho, power play goal, and the Czechs lead with 39 seconds to go. The fifth time shorthanded cost the Canadians.
There's a broken play on the block, and then everything breaks down. Really nice pass to Jecho, who gets all of this shot short side. Not a lot to shoot out there, but beats Carter George clean.
So the Czechs score in the first minute of the game, and now in the last minute of the third. And Canada's got 39 seconds to try to find an answer here, or they'll bow out in the quarterfinals for the second straight year for the first time in their history at the World Junior. And Dvorak sends that down. George had that picked off. Ashtalerski.
Gotta go, gotta press him, gotta go.
Back at the point. Laid back in by Huzanetsky. Canada can't get possession of the puck here, but McKenna steamrolls his man. Still loose down there. Fed back in front. Šalé with a chance. Gibson tries to drop it down and does. Long lead pass to Ritchie. In across the line for Cowan. The play's offside. 7.8 seconds to go in the period. Just seconds left. Lead pass for Catton. That misfired. And for the second straight year, the Czechs and Canada's hopes at the World Junior Championship. A 4-3 win sends them to the semifinals. And Canada bows out in the quarters for the second straight year. The second straight year is the winning goaltender against Canada.
Another year with a very late goal by Czechia.
It was 11 seconds to go last year. And for Brayden Yager and the 4 returnees from last year, the same result.
Czech rope-a-dope their way through the middle part of the game.
They've won 3 of the last 4 against Canada at the World Junior Championship. So we will now get the player of the game presentations and the top 3 players in the tournament for Canada, whose tournament is over.
Carter George.
He was terrific. The one consistent from start to finish for Canada.
Fans, please rise for the national anthem of Czechia. Veuillez vous lever pour l'hymne national de la Tchéquie.